Imagine waking up tomorrow morning with a sense of total peace. Imagine looking at your bank account and feeling a quiet confidence that your future is secure. For many of us, this feels like a distant dream. We live in a world that is constantly screaming at us about inflation, market crashes, and the rising cost of living. The noise is everywhere, from the morning news to the conversations we have with neighbours. It is a heavy mental load that we carry every single day. We worry about whether the money we have saved over a lifetime of hard work will be enough to last 20 or 30 years. But there is a deeper fear that often stays unspoken. It is the fear of becoming a burden to our children. We want to be the ones providing support, not the ones asking for it. We want to maintain our independence and our dignity until the very end. We want to be remembered for our wisdom and our love, not for our financial struggles. Today, I want to share a truth that the mainstream media rarely discusses. You do not need to be a multimillionaire to find peace in your golden years. The world tries to convince us that wealth is a secret club reserved for the elite. But the truth is much more encouraging. Quality of life does not come from a massive pile of gold. It comes from a solid plan and a clear understanding of the reality of Hootry. Let us start by looking at the real numbers, not the fantasy scenarios you see on television. If you look at social media or financial news, they tell you that you are behind if you do not have $2 million. This creates a sense of panic that can lead to frozen decision-making. But the data from the Federal Reserve tells a very different story. The typical American household at age 62 actually has between $185,000 and $200,000 in retirement accounts. That is the reality for the majority of people. And while that might sound small compared to the noise online, it is a significant foundation. It is a foundation built on decades of discipline and sacrifice. When you combine that amount with Social Security, which provides a steady income for millions, the picture begins to change. The average Social Security benefit is around $2,000 a month. For a married couple, that could be $4,000 of guaranteed income every single month. Think of this as the floor of your financial house. It is the safety net that ensures your basic needs are always met. When you add a safe withdrawal from your savings, you are looking at a lifestyle that is stable and respectable. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be to start making smart choices. One of the most important choices you will face is how to put your money to work. You might have heard the debate between lump sum investing and dollar cost averaging. Think of it like entering a cold swimming pool. Lump sum investing is like jumping into the deep end all at once. You put all your money into the market on day one. Dollar cost averaging is like walking down the steps, letting your body adjust to the water slowly. You invest small amounts every month over a period of time. This approach is particularly powerful for those who value their emotional well-being. Now, if we look at the research from companies like Vanguard, we see that jumping in wins about 66% of the time. That is because the stock market tends to go up more often than it goes down. Historically, the market finishes the year higher than it started about 74% of the time. But Hootry is not just about statistics. It is about your heart and your sleep. It is about knowing that you will not regret your decisions when the market fluctuates. If a sudden market drop would keep you awake at night with worry, then jumping in might not be the blessing you think it is. Dollar cost averaging is a strategy for peace of mind. It protects you from the pain of bad timing. It allows you to buy more shares when prices are low and fewer when prices are high. It is a way to turn volatility into your advantage. It smooths out the journey and makes the fluctuations of the market feel manageable. In the long run, the difference in returns is often less important than your ability to stay the course. The greatest wonder of the world is not a building or a monument. It is compound interest. Albert Einstein called it the eighth wonder of the world for a reason. Your money has the ability to work even harder than you ever did. Think of your investments as a second version of yourself. A silent partner who does not need coffee breaks, does not take vacations, and never gets tired. Imagine a silent worker who stays at their desk 24 hours a day just to build a better future for you. As your portfolio grows, it starts to generate its own returns. Eventually, those returns can become larger than the amount you ever contributed. This is the tipping point where your wealth begins to explode. Many of the wealthiest people in our country were not high-powered executives. They were teachers, accountants, and engineers who understood the power of consistency. They were regular people who simply started early and never stopped. But there is a trap that many retirees fall into, and I want to warn you about it. It is the trap of being house rich and cash poor. In America, many families have a net worth of $400,000 or more, but often half of that wealth is locked inside the walls of their home. You cannot pay for a prescription with your kitchen cabinets. You cannot buy groceries with the drywall in your guest room. You cannot use your roof to pay the heating bill in the winter. True independence comes from liquid assets. These are funds you can access today without having to sell your house or take on debt. If your wealth is tied up in your home, it might be time to consider a change. Downsizing to a smaller, more manageable space is not a sign of failure. It is not a step backward. It is a strategic move to reclaim your freedom. It allows you to turn that equity into a stream of income that supports your daily life. It transforms a static asset into a dynamic source of fuel for your dreams. It gives you the ability to travel, to give gifts to your grandchildren, and to live without the stress of high maintenance costs. We must also talk about the silent thief that lives in our economy. Inflation is a quiet force that eats away at the value of every dollar sitting in a bank account. If you keep your money in cash, it feels safe because the number on the screen does not change. But the purchasing power of that money is shrinking every single year. This is why we must invest in assets that grow faster than the cost of bread and milk. We invest not because we are greedy, but because we are responsible. As we navigate these uncertain times, remember that your value is not defined by your net worth. You have spent decades building a legacy of wisdom and love. Your family cares about your presence far more than your portfolio. They want your time, your stories, and your laughter. However, by making these smart adjustments now, you are giving them a wonderful gift. You are giving them the gift of knowing that you are safe. You are giving them the peace of mind that you are taken care of. Focus on what you can control. Be consistent with your investments, no matter how small they may seem. Every $10, every $50, it all counts toward your ultimate goal. Understand that a little bit of time and a little bit of faith go a long way. If you have $200,000 today and you leave it alone for 7 years, it could grow to over $300,000 just by letting the market do its work. Time is your greatest ally in this journey. I want to encourage you to stay active and stay engaged with your community. Isolation is one of the greatest risks to a happy retirement. Many people find that a part-time hobby or a small business brings them a new sense of purpose. Whether it is gardening, consulting, or volunteering, staying productive is good for your soul and your wallet. It keeps your mind sharp and your heart full. Every extra dollar you earn is a dollar you do not have to take out of your savings. This allows your nest egg to grow even larger and last even longer. It creates a cycle of abundance instead of a cycle of scarcity. We are living in a time of great change, but you do not have to face it alone. By educating yourself and looking at the facts, you can cut through the fear. Knowledge is the best medicine for financial anxiety. You can ignore the headlines designed to make you panic. You can choose a path of stability and grace. Take a moment today to breathe deeply and reflect on how far you have come. You have survived market crashes, recessions, and personal challenges before. You have navigated the storms of life with resilience. You are stronger than you think, and your future is brighter than the news would lead you to believe. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, and it is closer than you think. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this message brought you a sense of comfort or clarity, please share it with a friend who might be feeling anxious. Let us build a community where we support one another and share the truth about finding peace. May you find the blessing of financial freedom and the joy of an independent life. Stay consistent, stay hopeful, and have faith in the journey ahead. Trust the process and trust yourself. I will see you in the next conversation. Take care and God bless.